How are
Yeah,
you? Your cousin Isaac?
yeah. It's been a while since we've spoken.
I
I'm doing okay. We
yeah.
had some really big news in the last week. We had a baby. Um,
Do I get to see? I've never met your children.
no, my son's taking a nap. He just went down, and my daughter is
Okay.
actually sleeping, but I might be able to bring her over in a little bit.
Congratulations. Last time I saw you, actually, I think it was it your engagement party? Maybe because Grandma
Yeah,
Bernstein was still alive.
2019. I think it was probably a reception we had after the wedding, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So if for all of the viewers that I have of this show, Isaac and I are second cousins, right?
That's right.
First or second. And
Our,
yeah,
our grandparents were sisters.
yeah, our grand so we're second cousins.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Isaac, you're so interesting. The work that you do, it's just, yeah, I would love for you to talk about that. And then it's making me look super smart because I have smart people in my family. And yeah, so I wanted you to talk about that. And then I also am so curious. I've never asked you about what it was like to have cousins that were Pentecostals. And was that weird at all that you guys?
I I wouldn't say it was too weird. I knew that um, your family did things differently than ours, and
Yeah,
so, but I was kind of insulated from it. You were in California, and I was in Texas, and so I didn't see it up close very often.
yeah,
Mostly when we were visiting your grandmother, I'd see you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We Pentecostals women don't cut their hair. We wear
right.
long denim skirts and
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so you are in Canada right now, right?
that's right. Toronto. Yeah,
Toronto, and you're an assistant professor.
I just got tenured
Yes.
actually last week, so now I'm promoted.
God,
Yeah,
this is crazy. This
it's
is
a big week,
huge.
huge
I get
week.
to have
Yeah,
you on my show.
I'm very happy to
I'm
be
on
here.
Well, and I'm honored. Wow. So you're celebrating your second child, little girl, and you just is that your son?
That's her. Yeah.
That's her?
Yeah, I
Do you
might be
want
able
to
to go
show
get
me
her.
her?
No
I
problem. Give me
want
a
to
second. I'll
see.
be right back.
Okay.
I'm back. Let me
Oh,
turn on my view so you can see, I can see myself, so I can see what she looks like.
oh my
This is
God.
this is Juniper Jean. Oh, that's a little baby
She's
girl.
so precious, Isaac.
Yeah, we're in love.
Oh my
Just
gosh. And I'm, yeah, she'll look back in like a few years from now and know that this is the first time her and I met. When did you move to Canada?
it's been just over 5 years. We moved here 2018 in August.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Is it snowing up there right now?
it snowed this morning, but it's not snowing now.
Okay. Do you ever see Aaron?
Uh, we saw him in October, actually. I'm gonna go put her back
Oh,
down. Be
and
right
she's
back.
just like so cuddled in your arms, so perfect.
Yeah,
That's okay. She can cry all she wants.
yeah.
Yeah. So 2018 is when, isn't that when you did your discovery of the glaciers or let me see if I can get it right.
Okay.
You um the lakes under the South Pole of Mars is actually made of clay.
So
Kind
that's what
of?
I'm suggesting. Yeah, that was
Okay.
one of my big papers. There's been a group who suggested that using radar, they found some bright reflections, suggested that there were lakes there, and a big part of the community does not believe that. We think it must be something else. And so I was part of an effort. I led an effort to try to explain what we would see there, what could be causing those reflections, and I think clay is the answer. And so we published a paper, and I think that was 2021 when we published it, and um, that got pretty big press actually, CNN and international news, and um, so far another group saying it can't be clay, but there's gonna be the back and forth, the literature, uh,
Yeah.
polite discourse and disagreement. I think I do feel proud about it. I just really really enjoy thinking about Mars and the poles and the ice, and I want to be a part of all of it.
Yeah.
And I think about it all day, every day, just about. So uh, when there's a big question like what is going on there, then I feel compelled to check it out and see. So I was very
Yeah.
fortunate to have a lab that had the ability to measure clays and see how they would perform with the radar experiment. And so then
Yeah.
I was able to do that.
When you were a kid, did you think about space and Mars and I mean
Yeah,
us
I did.
actually living there?
I did. Um, my mom got me interested in space. So she knew some constellations and we liked the night sky, but also Halley's Comet came around when I was just 5, but I remember it
Mm,
pretty well. And from that point on, I think I liked space and I wanted to like look at pictures of space and talk about it.
yeah.
Went to visit NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston, might have been 10 or 11. And so I've always had it on my mind. And then I knew I wanted to be a scientist. And once I learned, and this was later in life, I was already in my late 20s. I learned, oh, you can do space research as a scientist. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it never would ever get boring, always learning something new.
Oh,
And
for
it's
sure.
an infinite subject, right? It just, it never ends.
Absolutely. And even
Yeah.
Mars itself, although I don't only do Mars, but like every day we get new data from and looking at pictures that no one's ever seen before. And
Mm.
so it's a really cool job that I get to look at pictures of Mars and discover things.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I find so intriguing, or I mean, everything about space, obviously, but black holes and just what
Yeah.
makes them. And I've
Yeah.
seen shows on like supposedly if a person was sucked into a black hole. What do you think about portals? Do you believe in portals and all that weird like aliens or UFOs?
I don't know about UFO. I mean, UFO is just an unidentified flying object, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of things that could be. I'm not sure that aliens have visited Earth. I do believe that there's other life out in the universe. The universe is really big, and Earth,
Hmm.
I don't think is that special in that case. Um, I I don't know about portals. We haven't got the math yet to describe that, so it'd be
Yeah.
cool. Um, and maybe one day we'll figure it out, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll probably end up on Mars before we find the portals
All
to
right,
other worlds. When do you
that's
think
great.
we'll be on Mars? When do you think we'll inhabit Mars?
Uh, I think in the 90s they said it'd be 20 years, and then in 2000 they said it'd be 20 years, and now they're saying about 20 years. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's just 20 years.
20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my
Yeah.
research is looking for ice on Mars, and
Oh.
ice is an important resource for humans when we get there. So you can go to Mars, but getting back is tough if you don't have fuel with you. And so you can either take the fuel from Earth, but that gets really expensive. You need extra rockets just to bring the fuel so you can get off of Mars.
Yeah.
Or you can make the fuel on Mars. And the way to do that is to
Wow.
take ice and you split it into hydrogen and oxygen, and then you can burn it and use that as rocket fuel. And so that's going to be a really important resource when we get there. And my job, or part of it, is to look for ice on Mars. So we do that.
Yeah. Have you done any I mean, how would you practice that? Is there anything you can kind of like do it on Earth as though you were doing on Mars? Is there a way that what's that word where you pretend to do it on Mars, but you're doing it on Earth, where you can kind of like
Yeah, it's a simulation, I think.
simulation. That's what I was trying to think. A
Yeah,
simu. Is there a Mars simulator that you work from?
I don't. There are several Mars simulators.
Okay.
There's one in northern Canada, and I forget which island it's on, Baffin Island, perhaps. There's one in Hawaii, and then there's, I think the Russians have done a few, and so I don't know exactly where they are. So
Yeah.
there's at least 3 on Earth that I'm aware of, and the simulation is primarily for psychology reasons. If you put some number of people in a habitat for a really long time, and the psychology of it is the hardest part, actually, I think, what I've read. And so
Really?
what happens if we put these 4 people in a room for 6 months?
Mhm.
And a lot of these simulations end early because the people, they don't do well.
Oh.
Um, and they have these habitats, and then so if you're in Hawaii or in northern Canada, that you can go out and pick up rocks and do excursions and take a rover and then come back, but you're always in that habitat at night.
I mean, that seems so unnerving.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Imagine like a college roommate who you're always in that same room with. And you're like, you
Yeah.
love your roommate at first, but at some point you're like, oh, the way they chew or the way they sip their
Yeah.
coffee. And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, and it just
But
builds and builds.
I mean, but to put that on an actual other planet,
Yeah.
it might be so exciting that you can overlook the annoyances that you have of the other people, or would you freak out and get like claustrophobic in a way because you can't leave?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of movies that discuss like how people freak out in space. And so, yeah, I think the technology part we can get, but the psychology is one of the ones that NASA's really working on. How do we handle that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. Have you, this might be such a naive, stupid thing to say, but could you be an astronaut and could you ever go up like on one of the rockets and go to space?
I'd love to. I've applied
Yeah.
several times to be an astronaut. I now they don't do it. They used to write letters, and so I have a letter from NASA saying we're sorry, we don't want to accept your application. But now they do
Um,
emails, and so I've got a few emails from them too.
do you want me to write one on your behalf from Bologna Sandwiches? And
Oh, please,
may I
yeah,
recommend my cousin Isaac Smith to be on the next exploration?
that'd be great. A letter from anybody would be great.
Yeah, that's who NASA accepts letters from, just
Yes,
everyday people.
that's right.
There's a NASA. I'm in Pasadena. There's something NASA that's like 15 minutes from my house. I don't know what
Jet
they do there.
Propulsion
Do you know?
Laboratory,
Yeah,
JPL. Yeah,
yeah, JPL.
yep.
Have you been there?
I've been there a few times. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
uh,
right. That's right where I live.
that's cool.
Um, yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask something. There's so many questions I could like talk to you for hours about space stuff,
For sure. I
black
mean, I'm
holes,
a
aurora
professor.
borealis.
I could talk for a whole semester about space.
I bet you do. Do you enjoy the professor side of it?
I do. I love sharing the knowledge, and I love being in the classroom with the students when they get something and you can see the spark. Like,
Mm,
oh, like it's
that's
really,
so,
it's a great moment. I
yeah,
don't know if you can hear her. She's crying.
yeah.
Yeah, moving.
Humans, we can't change them. We can fix
No.
technology, but not. What do you think about AI? All this stuff that's going on with AI.
Uh, Thankfully, I don't have to think about it too much. I've gone on Chat GPT and typed some things, but
Yeah,
I think it's going to help us in the sense of like a calculator helps us. And then, of course,
like
it's
that.
more powerful than a calculator. And so it'll help us in
Hmm.
ways that uh, we haven't figured out yet.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think there's the obvious problem of people using it to get out of doing work. I don't mean like if they're at work and finding an easier way to do something. I mean, we students and professors can use it to like work less, and then you're not training your
Oh,
brain. And so when people graduate, I'm worried that they're not going to have all the skills that they would like to have. So that's when I think about the
yeah. But I wonder if that can also be how Google was and the internet was when it first came out. That it was just an easy way
well,
to find answers and
I think Wikipedia actually did that.
oh,
When I was in high school when Wikipedia got started,
yeah.
and and then in university, and they said no Wikipedia. You have to go to the library. You have to read books, and get your resources. And now, no professor, no high school teacher is saying don't use Wikipedia. They're like go to Wikipedia, and maybe follow the sources, but you can use
Yeah.
Wikipedia. So
Yeah.
it's definitely making shortcuts for us, and AI is doing the same.
Yeah. I took a few college courses and I remember it was online college courses. So when you did tests, it's pretty much you could do open books and obviously search on Google. And I actually learned more that way. It retained
Okay,
in my mind. Yeah. So I think it's maybe how people learn. And for
for
some
sure.
reason, cheating makes me remember things more.
Okay.
It's my strong point.
Well, I mean, any way that you learn is good. And
Yeah.
so um,
Yeah.
the real goal is for you to learn. It's not,
Yeah.
the metrics are mostly about what can you show, what can you demonstrate that you got.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Exactly.
funny what we remember, isn't it? The things we
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Absolutely. What's one of your favorite topics to talk about of the work that you've done? Maybe what are you the most proud of, or what are you the most excited of? I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I've done a lot. I've been publishing a lot lately, and I've got a lab with six students who work with me full time, and then I have two grad students that I co-advise. So I've got eight students working with me, and then I have
Wow.
undergraduates too.
Yeah.
So um, I think it's always about ice on Mars and the North and South Pole. Um, but I made a discovery in 2010 that got pretty big press and really was so nice because it opened my eyes to what was available to study, and published that, and then published a follow-on that. So that was about the North Polar Cap of Mars that has these giant spirals, and I encourage everyone to type North Polar ice cap and then see what it looks like.
Okay.
It's this giant pinwheel the size of Texas. It's huge, and these these spiraling troughs, because they're depressions, form from wind, but no one knew that for sure until um, well, until some work I did following on to that discovery in 2010. We used radar to look at the layers that are there. And from that, I said, oh, well, now I need to learn not just radar, but geomorphology. And now I need to learn atmospheric modeling. And now I need to learn how ice behaves like glaciers. And I need to learn this. And so that one discovery just really branched out for me. And so I
Wow.
can, yeah, I just really enjoyed this career,
Yeah.
and finding something early in my career that kind of sparked all these interests has been really great.
Yeah, that's like meant to be. It's kind of perfect how that unfolded for you,
Yeah,
I
right
think.
place, right time, and then right person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the right interest because you truly care about it.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at my mom and stepdad's house. So that's my mom has probably 20 grandfather
Oh,
clocks
cool.
and they're all off just by a few minutes.
So on the hour,
And
ding, 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 ding,
yeah.
ding. Yeah.
Have you met my mom? You remember my mom, right?
Yes, of
I
course.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my dad and stepmom, they're in about 20 minutes from where I am at in Stockton. I told my dad that I was doing an interview with you, and he said that you owe him money. I'm just joking.
I wish you would
Tell him that
tell
he
me.
owes me money.
Uh,
Just kidding.
yeah.
Do you remember when I don't know if you went to the I think it was Hanukkah. It was one of our cousins' Hanukkah in Pennsylvania. And how old are you?
Well, 42, almost 43.
You're oh, so I'm 44. So I was 8, so you would have been 6 years old.
Yeah.
Did you go to a bar mitzvah
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Do you remember?
6 sounds right. That would have been Nathan's probably.
Oh,
Nathan.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, the whole point of the story is that I remember is the first time that I ever met all my Jewish cousins, and we were like super Pentecostal at that time, and we were all watching Gremlins in the living room. There's like 15 of us, and it was a scary part where they were putting the gremlin in the microwave and exploding him and killing
Yeah.
him, and I got really scared, so I started to say the name Jesus over and over. I was like,
Oh.
Jesus, 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 and I just remember everybody turning around and looking at me like crazy lady. Well, I think you're so interesting, and I would love to keep in touch with you. And if you go to Mars, FaceTime me and we'll film it on Zoom. Do you have anything that you want to say, or any questions, or anything you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. I think it's cool that you're doing this, and I think it's a fun project, and I wish you success.
Do you know why it's called bologna sandwiches?
I don't.
Oh, yeah. My mom and dad serve bologna sandwiches at their Jewish Pentecostal wedding.
Oh,
And which is so funny to me. I have yet to actually make a bologna sandwich on the show,
oh,
but I have to do that one time.
you probably should.
So,
I mean, everyone has their own style, right? What kind of bread do you use? What kind of mustard?
yeah. I like fried bologna
Oh,
and
good.
cheese and
Yeah,
mustard and
yeah,
all bread. Yeah. And French fries. Ooh, I should make a really weird bologna sandwich with like French fries and Oreo cookies in it.
yeah. Oreo and well, you got a dessert bologna sandwich, and you get your main course.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
Great.
And then my snack size bologna sandwiches. I thought about going to like Rodeo Drive or somewhere really fancy and handing out bologna sandwiches, but I'm too embarrassed to do that. I can't do
I don't know.
that. Okay. Well, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Does she want to come on and say hi, or is she embarrassed? I would love if she said hi.
I'll ask
Or
her. Give me a second. I'm gonna mute myself.
okay.
She's gonna come.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
She's holding the baby too. With the baby again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I get a family moment.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Emma. It's
Hi.
so good to see you.
You
Oh
too.
my gosh. And this is would be my cousin, right? My third, the baby would be my third cousin.
Second cousin once removed.
Second cousin once removed. Wow.
And
I am so,
she's named
yeah,
Jennifer Jean. Jean is after my grandmother, who's your aunt.
Aw,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I'm so happy to share this moment with you guys. This is so cool.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Well, maybe one day we'll see each other in person, but
Yeah.
Zoom is good too. So cool.
Right.
All right. Well, You guys, yeah. Oh, it's so sweet. I love it. Yeah, thank you for doing the show with me, Isaac. I
It was
appreciate
a
it.
pleasure. Thanks for inviting
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. And I'll let you know when it's edited and I'll send you the link
I'd love
and
that.
everything. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye, Julia.
Bye.